I still can't hear you.
Two-way sound tonight.
Who can't hear us?
And Barbara, you can't hear us?
Cheryl, I can't hear a word you're saying.
Really? Then there must be, because we can hear each other.
Maybe you're on mute. Volume on your computer.
Yeah. Did you turn the volume up?
And we hear you, whoever you are.
It's Barbara Brown.
Oh.
Where is she? I don't even, oh, there it is.
Oh boy.
Is it all going to work? It is when I start. It's not even giving me a sign in. I'm just giving out.
You gotta go out and shop at someplace.
Ignore the people at the school entry.
Sorry, Jonah's not here.
That's the cleaning service.
So you mad at me?
So, what you're going to do, I'm going to talk to your officers. When they close the door, you're going to do that. But what I'm going to do is mute it so you can watch. Else we can. Okay.
Sit here.
Barbara, can you hear now?
I think so, but I'll put it together for you anyway, just in case something changes, because I don't think we can see the
Can you
band.
hear? Barbara, can you hear?
Whoa, what did Cheryl just do?
I can't tell if Barbara can hear now. Enter a chat. An answer.
Oh, yeah.
Cheryl, there's still no sound.
Your turn. Your turn.
There's no sound, but I can't get to it.
Oh, okay.
Maximum protection. First psoriasis, then psoriatic arthritis.
Even
That was for a while. Like
5 years.
Can you hear now, Barbara?
I remember this.
I think she's the
No.
No.
Just here for my husband.
Okay. I mean, I have a mouse off. That's wireless.
Did you tell Barbara to log off and log back on?
No, I will. Okay.
You could change the play. Here's the piano. Sing what?
All right, I just told me.
Can cause serious allergic reactions and may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla's increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of suicidal thoughts or if you have some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor could monitor your weight and make snap treatment. Respiratory depression or headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. It's nasty. Not even long. Quick. Bring it up to speed.
I'm waiting to.
There's a projector. That's the revolutionary mix of seaweed.
Yeah. And you may not be done yet. How old are you? Yeah, you're not done yet. In all likelihood. Boys go 19 and 20. I know boys kind of go longer, but. Okay. All right. Yes. Very nice. And that's what we need for a day. Okay, great. Then we'll just leave it. Yeah. We don't need this up.
Years. Sometimes longer than they. Sure.
Whichever you prefer, down or right now.
Hello, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. I gotta take these off so I can't see. Hi, I am Dan Valentine on behalf of Congregation Beth Chaim. It's an honor to welcome you to our Rock Shabbat multi-faith service in honor of Israel's and other May birthdays this evening. I have some information to share. A reminder that you are part of our security team. Please keep your eyes open in case of emergency. Please be aware that there are exits in all directions out of the sanctuary, including the door on the bima, which leads to the library. If you wear a hearing aid with a T-coil, you may access our hearing loop using your program. We do have headphones for those without that program. Large print prayer books are available as well. They are located on a table in the back entrance to the sanctuary. We want to create a sacred place that will inspire prayer. Please silent or turn your phones off at this time so that you will not be distracted. Also, we ask you to refrain from taking any photos or videos as a complete recording of the service will be on Beth Chaim's YouTube channel afterwards. If you are on Zoom, please stay muted unless the clergy invites you to unmute and participate. We may be physically separated from one another, but we are one community in prayer and celebration. Lastly, I'd like to share a few items, well, one item really that I'm thankful for this week. My son surprised us this week with a visit from school. He goes to school up in Providence, and he has a newfound interest in gardening, which makes me very happy since I'm a master gardener. So we ended up spending most of our time together talking about gardening and his new plot that he has in Providence, and we made a trip into Trenton to do some work in Trent House together at their garden. So that was very nice. So that's what I'm grateful for this week. Now we can move on to the sacredness of Shabbat. Please join us in song and prayer. Thanks.
Thank you.
Welcome to everyone who is with us tonight in person, by Zoom, and by YouTube. We have a lot to be grateful for this Shabbat. You're invited to sing and dance as our Rock Shabbat band leads our liturgy with Ruach, Spirit. Tonight we celebrate May birthdays and anniversaries, including the birthday of the State of Israel. And throughout tonight's service, we will hear the voices of Beth Chaim's multi-faith families as we celebrate their commitment to our Jewish community. I often like to share that I grew up in a multi-faith family. My father, Chris, was raised Catholic, and while he has lived a Jewish life longer than not, he never converted. Even so, my father served on the board of our congregation, and he particularly loved presenting the Bar Mitzvah with their gift. I know from my own family's experience how powerfully a non-Jewish parent can work toward building a strong Jewish home, marked by core values that our sacred community upholds. For this reason, I am grateful to invite several of our multi-faith families to participate in our service tonight, and all who are present will receive a special blessing in a little bit. It is now my pleasure to invite up Dana, Corey, Isaac, and Phoebe Boyle to light the candles that will usher in this special Shabbat. All of our liturgy is up on the screen, but if you'd like to follow along in your prayer books, just check out the number in the top right corner. In this case, pages 2 and 3.
O source of light and truth, creator of eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. You're into it?
Amen. Thank you so much. And we'll ask all who are able to please rise for Kiddush. We're having some technical difficulties.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hakafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu v'shavat kosho b'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah lemikra kodesh זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Please be seated as we turn to Lechado D, the mystical late medieval prayer of gratitude that our beloved Shabbat has arrived.
גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה
I invite you to turn to your neighbors, greet each other, Shabbat Shalom, try to meet someone new, friends on Zoom, you type in the chat box, Shabbat Shalom. And when you've had enough Shabbat Shalom cheer, you're welcome to take your seats as I invited Carol Ann and Andrew Boyne. You don't want to support her? Non-speaking role? I'll get the cane, don't worry. Good.
I'm Carol Ann. My husband Andy is here. We have been members of Bethlehem since our now almost 20-year-old son was 5 and entering, well, 4 and entering kindergarten. Our children went through Hebrew school here, and I'm not the Jew. I was raised in pretty much the not Jew religion. And my parents were hoping very, 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 very much that our children would still know God. I think they do. What they do with that information is up to them. We worked really hard. I worked really hard to find a way for me to have, for our children to have a sense of who they were in the world that was consistent with my values. And growing up the way I grew up, that was not an option. And I met Andrew and fell in love with him and his family. It really does, the in-laws really do matter. And they were so welcoming that I got more than curious. And while we were still dating, I lived in Philly, and we went and explored the American Jewish Museum down in Philadelphia. And we left, and I said, if we actually stay together and we have kids, we need to raise them Jewish, because they're not going to know who they are unless somebody teaches them. And I can teach them all about what it means to be a nominal Christian in this world. It's all over. It's in the ether. It's in the air we breathe. It's in the water we drink. It's in the Twinkies. How could you not? But who's going to teach them how to be Jewish unless they're raised in a Jewish community? Well, I thought it was going to be easy to find a Jewish community. And then I got married. That was fun, trying to find a rabbi and an officiant who would help us to begin to codify what we thought was going to be this glorious life together. And it has been, not in small part by a lot of work. We landed with Beth Chaim. You all had an open house. The first person I talked to was Anne. We sat down at a table on the left side over there on the other side of the collapsible wall, and I asked a lot of really pointed questions like, how many interfaith families do you have here, and what do you do with them? Because I didn't want to be the one who was going to be the very best non-Jewish Jewish mother I could be, and raise kids here, only to find out that I couldn't be on the bima when it came time for their b'nai mitzvah. That wasn't going to fly. That had happened to another multi-faith family that I knew, and I was horrified. So she said, I don't know, maybe 50% of our families are interfaith. I don't really know. And then she said, do the things. And I took her at her word. And I did the things that I wanted to do and didn't do the things that I knew I could do, but certainly was not going to try to do, because God forbid anybody find out. You all have been lovely. And everybody that I've gotten to know over this past 15 years has been lovely. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me, an earnest yet clueless human who desperately wanted her children to have a faith and an identity. What they choose to do with it is up to them. But thank you for creating the space.
What a perfect entree into our call to worship. Baruch Hu, as we rise together as one community, as we're able.
שוכבך וקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו כתות אפור בעיניך, וכתבת על מזוזות ביתך, על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים אליכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם בארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
It is now my pleasure to come up to speak, Annette and Frank Orbeck.
Good evening. I'm Frank. And Annette, Annette is seated in the middle there. We've been members for more than 5 years, less than 10. I didn't call the office and ask for the exact date. It may be surprising to the folks who know me from Torah study, but my remarks are going to be very brief. What our experience here, I think, boils down to, and Annette and I did discuss this in the last several days, it can really come down to 2 words: welcome and gratitude. We, as an interfaith couple, have always felt very welcome here. And for that, we feel a great deal of gratitude. This is a wonderful, wonderful congregation, and we are very grateful to be members. Thank you.
We turn to our song of gratitude, a song of freedom, a song of joy.
Come
I now invite up to share an English reading the Rockhind family, Chiaki, John, and Hannah. Come on up. This is good practice for you. Yeah. We have a bee mitzvah in the making.
Let there be love and understanding among us.
Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Now we rise up together as one community as we are able for the Amidah, our central standing prayers.
וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, וחיי הכל אתה להושיע. מוריד אתה, מחכה חיים בחסד, וחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני בחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. Our ancestors taught that one day when the Messiah comes and we will no longer need all of those sacrifices detailed in the Torah, we can get rid of all of them but one, the sacrifice of thanksgiving. And so it's become our custom here at Congregation Beth Ayim to offer up thanksgiving, gratitude every week. Today we have a couple of special moments of gratitude. First, anyone who is celebrating an anniversary this month. I know there's at least one couple in the audience tonight. If you could stand at your seat so we can acknowledge you and your commitment to each other. We have two screens of members of our community who are celebrating anniversaries this month. And for friends on Zoom, you can't see, but we have two families standing at this time. And we'll say, we're grateful to you and we're grateful for your love and your commitment to one another. Mazal tov. And we also have May birthdays that we're celebrating tonight. Lots and lots of May babies. If you're one, please rise. All right, do we have any other May birthdays? Oh, there we go. Keith and Cliff. We have 5 slides. There's your name. I saw it. All right, we hope that this is another year of health and happiness and great success in all you do. And maybe we get a chance to celebrate your birthday again in another year. We are grateful that the state of Israel turns 74 years young this week. So as in the grand scheme of things, that's very young. And we know that Israel has had the opportunity to accomplish so much in such a short time. We're going to hear more about that later. But for the state of Israel, we offer gratitude, a place where Jews all over the world can call home. Take it. And now for something a little bit different. We celebrate Judaism and all things Jewish in this congregation because that's what synagogues do. And we do it 354 days in a Jewish year. We give special honors and pride of place to Jews today and the whole year round, as many synagogues by us do as well. And happily though, this pride we at Beth Chaim exude leaves room for many others, as we've heard tonight. This evening, I want to publicly acknowledge some very important people in our congregation. They are part of the Beth Chaim family because somewhere along the way, they happened to fall in love with a Jewish person, and that decision changed their lives. Or maybe the person you love became Jewish. That's okay too. You are a very diverse group of people. Some of you are living a Jewish life in virtually all respects. Some of you are devoutly committed to another faith. Some of you do not define yourselves as religious at all. You fall at all points along this spectrum, and we acknowledge and respect your diversity. We want to thank you today for your decision to cast your lot with the Jewish people. We thank you for becoming part of this congregation, and we thank you for the love and support you give to your Jewish partner. Most of all, we want to offer our deepest thanks to those of you who are parents and are raising your children as Jews. After witnessing the destruction of 1/3 of the world's Jewish population 75 plus years ago, we consider every Jewish child to be especially precious. We are a very small people, and history has made us smaller. Our children mean hope, and they mean life. So every Jewish child is a gift to the Jewish future. With all our hearts, we want to thank you for your generosity of strength and spirit in making the ultimate of the Jewish people.
Oh, you did it. Thank you.
Now I will ask all of our multi-faith families to please rise at your seats so that we can together let you know how much you matter to our congregation. And Cantor Binder and I will share these words of gratitude, our refrain in just a moment. You help put up the mezuzahs in your home. Some of you do the driving to and from New York for breakfast and Seder. Some of you model for your kids by taking classes and reading Jewish books so you can help to make a Jewish home. You're among the parents who help explain to your kids why it is important to get a religious education and why it is important to be grounded in the Jewish faith. Like many Jews in our congregation, many of you drive the religious school carpool. Many of you make a mean kugel or tasty latkes, and some of you help lead your families through the traditions of the holidays. You come to services even when it might feel strange or confusing at first. You hum along to Hebrew songs, and some of you even learn to read Hebrew. You stand on the bima and bless your children on the day they become bar mitzvah, and you tell them how proud you are and how much you love them. How glad you are to see them grow into young Jewish adults and encourage them to lead Jewish lives. For all this and more, we are grateful to have you as part of our congregation. And so everyone who is sitting, please join Cantor and me in our words of gratitude. The same one. This time with a few more tears in our eyes.
מודים אנחנו לך, מודים אנחנו לך.
Thank you. You're welcome to take your seats. I heard that we have some other, no, I heard we have some other blessings of gratitude today. We need to go back. Well, thank you so much, Ann. Sam, do you have something that you're grateful for this Shabbat? Yay! I had a feeling. All right, so you're a licensed driver? Woo! Batten down the hatches. Sam's on the road. All right, mazel tov. Vivian. Grateful that Bill Newmark got out of the hospital. Absolutely. Any other expressions of gratitude? Alana. Right? To see a grown-up Sam come back. Woo. Absolutely. Other expressions of gratitude. Allah. Grateful to have your college boys home this week. Sleeping in tomorrow. One is grateful, one is not. That's diversity at work. Chloe, go for it. Did you say finals are over? Oh, finally able to move into your house. Mazel tov on your new home. All right, we'll talk about that later. All right, for all those blessings and many more, one last time. We continue with Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace. Maybe be grateful for world peace next Shabbat, but until then, we'll lift up our voices out loud.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tziim Be'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tziim Be'olam. Ki Ata Melech Hador
take a few moments for silent prayer to find inspiration from our prayer books or the screen, or to reflect on the beautiful sharings we've heard tonight. Our thoughts now turn to all those in need of healing. Healing of the body, healing of the mind, healing of the heart, and healing of the soul. We have the names of many on our screen tonight who are in need of healing, but I invite you to share other names, others that we may know or may have mutual friends or may have heard that could use healing.
How about Rivka?
Very kind. For all of those and many more, we turn to this prayer for healing, the words of the prophet Moses. To help us celebrate Yom HaAtzmaut, the celebration of Israel's Independence Day, it is my pleasure to invite to the Bima the chair of our Israel Task Force, Hagit Sten, accompanied by Drew Staffenberg and Alana Berlinger. So I'll have you come up now. We have one other member of our group on Zoom, Pat Clarefield, and we're going to hear a little bit about the celebration this week and also some of the good work that's going on in Israel today.
Shabbat Shalom and a belated 74th happy birthday. My name is Chagit, and I'm here to tell you about a piece of paper that an uncle of my mother signed. Eliezer was born at the end of the 19th century in Belarusia to an Orthodox family and graduated as an engineer from the University of Moscow, and being one of the 9 children who were ardent Zionists, the other 2 were obviously ardent communists. He came to Palestine in 1923. By 1933, he was elected to the board of the Jewish Agency and accepted the post of being in charge of finance of the Jewish Congress. And he was, from there, he progressed to be the first finance minister in the state of Israel. And 74 years ago, actually 74 years before the coming Shabbat, when we're celebrating with the mentalist, he signed a piece of paper saying that Medinat Israel will foster the development of the country for the benefit of all its inhabitants. It will be based on freedom, justice, and peace, as envisaged by the prophets of Israel. It will ensure complete equality of social and political rights to all its inhabitants, irrespective of religion, race, or sex. It will guarantee freedom of religion, conscience, language, education, and culture. It will safeguard the holy places of all religions. And it will be faithful to the principles of the Charter of the United Nations. And this evening, Drew and Pat will share with you 2 different Israeli nonprofit organizations in whose work they actually embody, they put actions to the words, to the vision written in the Declaration of Independence of the State of Israel, who amongst others, Eliezer Kaplan, the uncle of my mother, signed. Okay. Who do we have first? Pat first. Pat. So Pat will be the first.
The geographic boundaries of the Promised Land are described in the Book of Numbers as follows: the Yam Kinneret, the Jordan River, the Red Sea, and the Mediterranean Sea. These bodies of water and the numerous wells and streams that course through the land don't just make life in Israel possible, but also make lives and the country secure, fruitful, and welcoming. Zalul is an environmental organization founded in 1999. Zalul, the word in Hebrew means clear, subscribes to the belief that every person, regardless of sex, religion, or nationality, should have access to clean and healthy rivers and seas. Zalul works to provide concrete solutions for better environmental policy. Their outreach in Israel is to cities, agricultural settlements, schools, Arab communities, and more. Their materials are distributed in Hebrew and Arabic. One of this NGO's first successes was in the Gulf of Delaz. The Gulf of Delaz is a northern offshoot of the Red Sea, and its waters form the shoreline in Egypt, Jordan, Israel, and Saudi Arabia. The Gulf is home to a dramatic and rare coral reef, but it was also the location for fish cages, which are mesh enclosures where seafood companies farm raised fish for market. Runoff and waste from these fish farms was slowly destroying the reef. Zalul, after years of effort, finally succeeded in getting Israel's Ministry of the Environment to order the fish cages removed. When we consider the value of Zalul's work in Israel, we might want to think of how this might relate to Israel's commitment in the Declaration of Independence to protecting the freedom of religion to all residents of the land. Many bodies of water in Israel are part of other religious traditions. Yam Kinneret is known in the Christian literature as the Sea of Galilee. The Jordan River is referenced many times in Islamic and Christian texts. Beersheba is said to be the location of the well that saved Hagar and Ishmael when they were stranded in the Negev desert. So by ensuring clean waterways in Israel, Zalul not only helps the country provide for all its inhabitants, it also ensures that all religions continue to have access to their holy sites.
Sekuya Fuk is a shared Jewish and Arab nonprofit organization that works to advance equality and partnership between the Arab Palestinian citizens of Israel, those descendants who remained within the Israeli borders after the founding of the state in 1948, and the country's Jewish citizens. Since its founding in 1991, Sekuya Fuk has sought to bring an end to the long-standing discrimination and ongoing inequality between the two groups and lay the foundation for a truly shared society. The organization practices what it preaches. They are co-directed by Jews and Arabs and are proud of their organizational model that features Jews and Arab management and field staff at all levels. This model ensures equal and shared participation in decision-making process within the organization and all its activities. Similarly, the board of directors has two co-chairs, one Arab and one Jewish. The organization is managed by two co-executive directors, and the various departments and projects utilize the same model of joint management. To advance their vision, they work with local Arab municipalities and the leadership of Arab society and engage in the advocacy vis-a-vis government ministries, public bodies, and the media and the public at large by promoting policy change that will bring about full and substantive equality in a shared society. Their strategy is to educate and influence senior decision makers in the government, in the public, and commercial sectors through professionally developed, data-driven, and practical recommendations for policy change.
And now to offer up a prayer for the state of Israel, Alana will share these words.
Rock and champion of Israel, please bless the state of Israel, first fruit of the flourishing of the fruit of our redemption. Guard it in the abundance of your love. Spread over it the shelter of your peace. Send forth your light and truth to those who lead and judge it, and to those who hold elective office. Establish in them, through your presence, wise counsel, that they may walk in the way of justice, freedom, and integrity. Strengthen the hands of those who guard our holy land. Let them inherit salvation and life, and give peace to the land and perpetual joy to its inhabitants. Appoint for a blessing all our kindred of the house of Israel and all the lands of their dispersion. Plant in their hearts a love of Zion. And for all our people everywhere, may God be with them. And may they have the opportunity to go up to the land. Cause your Spirit's influence to emanate upon all dwellers of our holy land. Remove from their midst hatred and enmity, jealousy and wickedness. Plant in their hearts love and kinship, peace and friendship. And soon fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. Let them no longer learn the ways of war. Let us say amen.
Amen. Thank you all for sharing with us tonight to help us think about our Jewish brothers and sisters across the ocean and to celebrate Israel's birthday, which the English date is coming up just next week. We'll now turn to our prayer Aleinu, which reminds us that we partner with God to make this world a better place, which I've heard from so many people tonight is important to so many of us. And it's my pleasure to invite up Dharma and Betsy E. to open the ark as I ask all who are able to please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצא הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגבי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו לעינון. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. As we approach Mourner's Kaddish on page 294 in our prayer books, we remember those whom we have lost in recent days, as well as those who passed around this time of year in years gone by. Remember one who was taken from us this week, George Bernstein, cousin of Dan Berg. And as I call out your loved one's name, I invite you to rise at your seat. Remember Howard Salz, father of Sherry, grandfather of Chloe, who are in Shloshim the first 30 days of mourning. Remember Joe Clark, family member of Lori Rich and Brianna Watson. Remember the following yard sites, the anniversary of the passing of these loved ones: Helen Rudich, Thomas Boylan, Rose Weber, Yetta Ruttman, Ann Diner, Ethel Cohn, Aaron Basin, Arthur Joel Taxler, Harry Druckman, Mildred Cutel, Irving Joseph Berman, Leon Larish, Benjamin Crittman, Joan Wilson, Mark Sobel, Morris Kaminsky, Charles Orenstein, Sonia Newmark, Bernard Horn, Ronya Ben, Harold Block, Zandra Phillipson, Melvin Hammond, May Dickoff, Eva Heller, Herman Lessiger, Charlotte Cass, Joseph Kolb, Molly Isaacson, and Suze Archin. And the day before Yom HaAtzmaut in Israel is Yom HaZikaron, Memorial Day. Remember all those who lost their lives defending the state of Israel or who died in terror attacks. And I'll ask everyone who is able to please rise as we turn together for the hallowed words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mivarach le'alam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei kudusha, brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, za amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be a blessing. Please be seated as Robin Valentine has a few announcements for us. Whichever one you prefer.
I'm Robin Valentine, and I represent the Board of Trustees. Dan and I invite you to join us for an Oneg Shabbat in the social hall. We are happy to speak with you over Anash. There are exciting things happening at Congregation Beth Chaim. Torah study is held every Shabbat morning at 8:45 in person and on Zoom. Please note that the Shabbaton with Rabbi David Levin and the West Windsor Community Day originally scheduled for tomorrow have been postponed. Religious school meets on Sunday in person at 9 a.m. and on Zoom at noon. Swimming in a Sea of Talmud continues at 9:30. And this Sunday, we wish all mothers and mother figures a very happy Mother's Day. You are all invited to our Preschool Art Show this Tuesday night. Feel free to stop by anytime between 5 and 6:30 to see the artistic creations of our youngest students. Next weekend is a big one for us. On Friday night, we will celebrate our members who joined Beth Chaim in 2010s as we continue to celebrate our 50th anniversary. It's not too late to buy tickets for our major fundraiser on Saturday night with the musical mentalist Sydney Friedman. Come for the good company, engaging entertainment, delicious desserts, and big reveal of the artwork commissioned for our congregation's golden anniversary. Then on Sunday afternoon, the Federation of Princeton Mercer Bucks is hosting a Jewish American Heritage Festival in Palmer Square of Princeton. Come to celebrate our Jewish roots, honor our heritage, and enjoy a concert featuring the Maccabees and Kolenu. There will be a kosher food truck on site, so come hungry. Hineni, I am here for you. You are here for me. Together, we are Beth Chaim. We are an active, inclusive, and diverse congregation. Please check our website, bethchaim.org, to see a listing of all of our many classes, meetings, activities throughout the week. Shabbat Shalom.
Is there anybody who wants college? Come on up, Sam. Boyles, come on up. William, you want?
Suspiciously flat, like matzah.
They're just slices. All right, you don't have to. You don't have to. All right, Canner, we're ready.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
We'll take one. Nobody has to. All right. Thanks for here, Shan. All right, you can head back to your seats as we head into our closing song. Just want to give a shout out to our Shabbat Rock Shabbat band. We have Click Hochberg on the drums. Thank you, Click. Lindbergh on the ivories. And Canner Stewart Binder, now I know, on rhythm guitar and lead vocals. So let's close it out with some Ruach.
Amen.
please rise for our closing benediction, words of peace and love. May God bless us and protect us. May God's light shine upon us and may God be gracious to us. May we always feel that the divine presence is near, and may we be blessed with the greatest gift of all, the gift of peace. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.